Previously on the Metal Meltdown.
And then what did they do? They took your money, they fucked off to nowhere, and then they made a completely different album, and now they're asking you all over again to open your wallets yet again so they can essentially con you into funding yet another piece of symphonic power metal crap. There will never be a Time 2. It's never gonna happen. Fucking never. The day Time 2 ever actually sees the light of day is the day I eat my fucking shirt live here on YouTube, and you can fucking quote me on that.
Joke's on you, Metal Meltdown. When Time 2 gets released, that'll show you. It'll blow your mind.
I've said this before in a previous collaboration with Quest for Metal, and I'll say it again. The day that Wintersun releases Time 2 is the day I eat a fucking t-shirt live for the world to see. You can fucking quote me on that if you like. You can put that on a t-shirt, and I will eat that aforementioned t-shirt should that day ever arrive. Go for it, because again, guess what? That day will never arrive. Well, that didn't age well. For obvious reasons, I don't really feel like munching down on a t-shirt. But if I have to, I'm gonna make that shit look sexy and delicious. So let's do some reading. Alright, let's see. Is there anything in here about a t-shirt ravioli? A t-shirt tortellini? Perhaps a t-shirt lasagna? No? Ugh. Next! No t-shirt dumplings? No t-shirt chow mein? No t-shirt takoyaki? How disappointing. Next! Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. No t-shirt croquettes, no t-shirt soufflés. You're telling me that Anthony Bourdain, the Anthony Bourdain, wasn't chowing down on t-shirt omelets every chance he got? Pairing it with a delicious glass of red wine, perhaps, or a cold lager? That Anthony Bourdain right there, you're telling me the iconic and legendary Anthony Bourdain wasn't enjoying fucking bone marrow on toast with a side of t-shirt? Un-fucking believable! Yeah, this might be a bust. Hey, Chompy, any luck finding a t-shirt recipe online? Alright, well, keep looking, I guess, and in the meantime, let's talk about Wintersun and their brand new album, Time 2. This is the fourth full-length studio album and the first in nearly 7 years from this Finnish folk, symphonic, and melodic death metal crew. It is also, as the title suggests, the sequel to Time 1, released back in 2012, and as far as I can tell, has been in production in some capacity since 2013, though some reports suggest that Jari Mindpaw had already begun writing material for the album back in 2006, back when Time 1 and 2 were apparently planned for release as a single album. Throughout the 12-year time gap, Wintersun has launched numerous crowdfunding campaigns and a Patreon designed to assist and fund this album's creation and eventual release. This includes the acquisition of special gear and equipments, the construction of a recording studio, and the production of physical copies of the album, including a pre-order package. Through all of this, Wintersun fans have donated well over $1 million to Wintersun for Time 2, and this information, coupled with the massive time gap and Jari's well-documented hesitancy to provide progress updates on Time 2, has led many, including myself, to question the legitimacy of Time 2, going as far as to suggest that maybe Time 2 wasn't a real album, that it was a scam, and that the album would never see the light of day. Seems these comments didn't age well either, because Time 2 is very real, and it seems I was very wrong. For the record, I'll happily continue to argue that there's much about the past decade of Wintersun activity that seems suspicious, that feels scammy, that has the makings of a scam. And I would highly recommend everyone go watch a video that Forge Master Metal did documenting everything that has happened and why people have these beliefs and assumptions about Wintersun and Time 2. But nevertheless, I concede, Time 2 is real, And I was wrong to call it an outright scam, and I guess I have to eat my words literally. Speaking of which, Chompy, find anything good? Guy Fieri's deep-fried t-shirt, pizza, and pretzel pops? Ugh. I think I'll pass on that. Let's see if we can find something better. Something less deep-fried and smothered in shit. Not gonna lie, though, it's not shocking to hear that Guy Fieri would be the type of guy to eat t-shirts. That explains a lot, actually. Anyways, Time 2 is here. Finally, a lot of you say, in unison, I assume, maybe, possibly, perhaps. After years of waiting and after millions of dollars spent, Time 2 exists. It's available now to the public, and I have listened to it multiple times in advance. And despite my prior comments on Wintersun's allegedly scammy tactics, and also on Time 1 and other Wintersun projects, I feel I approach this album with as open a mind as possible, and I feel comfortable telling you that Time 2 is fine. Yeah. Good news! I enjoyed this album a lot more than I thought I would. The songs are better structured and more engaging than a vast majority of Time 1, with plenty of emotive, soaring guitar leads, evocative strings and keyboards, warm, brassy horns, and plenty of Asian and European music and metal influence. It's theatrical in presentation, massive in size and scope and scale, loaded with folksy, mellow-def rage and beauty. It's quite a spectacle for sure, and anyone who loves Wintersun or who wanted a wild combination of Innisfree, Nightwish, and Rhapsody of Fire with a little bit of Yngwie Malmsteen thrown into the mix will no doubt have a blast. Bad news! Holy shit, this album is so fucking overproduced. It's nice to see at least some of the millions raised by fans actually went into the album, but Time 2 ironically stands as proof of the age-old principle that sometimes less is more. The fact is, the album is so loud and so overstuffed with synths and keyboards and strings and horns and woodwinds and guitars and drums and multi-layered vocals that it's incredibly tiring and eventually obnoxious. About halfway through the album, I developed a headache as a result of the constant bombast, and I had to turn it off and take a break. There are other issues with the production as well, though. The drums have no body and a super clicky sound and feel. Bass is completely buried, and generally speaking, everything is a little bit too glossy and digital. And side note, I can't help but feel like an album that had this much time and money put into it shouldn't have these problems at all. Like, at all. Just a thought. Feel free to do with that information whatever you wish. The end result is an album that I truly do admire in a way, but am in no rush to re-listen to. It's ambitious in parts, and it's very clear that a lot of hard work and passion and money went into Time 2, but the various production issues hold this back from being the all-time magnum opus that it clearly wants to be. At least, in my opinion. I'm sure most Wintersun fans will rush to this album's defense in the same way they rushed to the band's defense after launching crowdfunding campaign number 89. And I'm also sure that most of the same people who mocked and criticized Wintersun beforehand will also continue to do exactly that even now. Me personally, I'm ready to just take the fucking L and move on with my life. And a recent interview with Belgian Jasper shows Yari visibly relieved and feeling ready to move on with life as well, so I think that's what we'll do, I guess. Maybe not hand in hand, but rather driving down separate roads and going our separate ways, Furious 7 style. Final score, 2.5 out of 5, it's real, it's an album, not my cup of tea, but I got more out of it than I expected. Wintersun proved me and many others wrong, and now I guess I have to eat a fucking t-shirt. Chompy, please tell me you found something. Wait, you're telling me eating a t-shirt is dangerous and unhealthy? Pfft, how so? Eating clothing can have serious consequences for your health. Clothing is not meant to be consumed by humans and is not digestible. If you were to eat clothing, it could lead to a range of health issues, including choking. Clothing is not meant to be broken down by the digestive system, so it can get stuck in your throat or digestive tract, leading to choking. Intestinal blockage. Swallowing clothing can cause a blockage in your intestines, which can be a serious medical emergency requiring surgery to remove the blockage. Toxicity. Some clothing materials may contain dyes, chemicals, or other substances that are toxic if ingested, leading to poisoning. Damage to the digestive system. Eating clothing can cause tears or damage to the lining of your esophagus, stomach, or intestines. If you or someone you know has ingested clothing, it is important to seek medical help immediately. If someone is compelled to eat non-food items, it may indicate a condition known as pica, which is characterized by cravings for non-nutritive substances. It's advisable to seek medical help if this behavior occurs. Oh. Yeah, that could present a problem or two. Yeah. Alright, so listen, y'all. I consider myself an honest man, a man of my word, and I know from your constant comments that a lot of y'all were super hella pumped for this, perhaps to a concerning degree, considering what we know now of what happens when you eat a t-shirt. But if being an honest man, if being a man of my word, means that today I must put myself in a situation where I could poison myself and die because of comments from a couple of videos, some of which that are nearly 3.5, 4 years old, then fuck it, I'm a dirty, rotten fucking liar and proud of it. I cannot think of a clever way to end this video.